our story part 1 officially. This is going to be the first part to a multiple part series. This is going to be a long story. Okay, so what we're going to do is go through our story of how Trev and I met, how Triangle S got started, all of that. It's kind of a wild story, you guys. Like, we've been through so much. And this year we will have been married for 11 years. This is 2023. So, yeah, pretty rad. Okay, so we met, just get started. Trevor and I met back in 2011, the summer of 2011. Little tiny backstory. I had just barely gotten out of a previous marriage. I was married really young once before, and then got divorced. And so literally, right as the divorce papers were signed, like the next day, is when I met Trevor. Totally unannounced, totally just unexpected. You guys, I was in a mindset of just not wanting to be involved in anybody or anything. Just done. I was done. So I wasn't looking for anything, let alone a lifelong commitment. So Trevor had just gotten out of a relationship, and we were both going through, we were going through some stuff. We were going through a lot of stuff that we had to work through personally. And of course, we had to work through it all together, because both of us got out of relationships very, very soon before we met. So we had to go through some things and all that crap. Well, basically what happened was I divorced my ex-husband and kind of bounced around a little bit, just trying to figure life out-ish. Just kind of lost. I was pretty lost. And I was helping my best friend's family, and that said, I signed divorce papers, all that stuff, and we partied. It was one of, my best, we just decided, you know what, let's celebrate, cut loose, not think about crap, and just feel like crap the next day, because we decided to cut loose. And anyways, we ended up pulling an all-nighter. Unexpectedly, we pulled an all-nighter, but the next day, which is a Saturday, we had to move a whole bunch of pears and sort off a bunch of bulls out on the desert. And, it's a great time to pull an all-nighter when you go and do something like that, when it's 90 plus degrees and no wind. So we pulled an all-nighter. We get out to the desert late because, well, you know why. And anyways, we get out there like an hour something late. Everybody's waiting and people are just barely starting to ride off. And so we get horseback, start trotting off and trying to get out there while it's still cool. Because when you're out on the desert, when it's super freaking hot, your cows don't want to move, do nothing. So the earlier you can get out there, the better. So we're trotting out there. We're trying to get going, trying to get out there, trying to get these cows moved and these calves and these bulls, trying to get everything done before it gets too ridiculously hot. And, as we're trotting out, it's us and a whole bunch of other people in the association, helping move all these cows and whatnot. And I saw Trevor. So my best friend, her husband, and I were all together, and we were trotting out, and we saw Trevor. We kind of passed him trotting by, and really, really, really sharp dressed man, just very clean looking guy, good looking man, and had this really nice little sorrel gelding. And anyways, we didn't know him we had no idea who he was. And at this point, you guys, we're still drunk, okay? Yes, that was a time of my life where it was a rough time of my life. So, but we were still drunk. We pulled an all-nighter, and it's not the most proud point in my life, but it happened. So we were still a little loppy, and, come up to Trevor, and, looks really, really nice. Anyways, trotting out, and then come across Trevor, really sharp dressed guy, and I didn't know him from Adam. And we decided to pick on somebody, and we called him Buckaroo Bob the whole time. There he is. Called him Buckaroo Bob the whole time. we kind of just picked on him the whole time without him knowing, because that's just what you do when you don't know somebody. And anyways, we're just riding out, got everything done that day, and then we went to, was it lunch that afternoon? Yeah, we went to lunch, went to a pizza parlor that afternoon. And he sat across from me, and I can't say what he just said. And anyways, we got to talking, and he was we hit it off. We really hit it off just so easily and comfortably, and he was such a gentleman and so sweet. But I'll be 100% honest, I wanted nothing to do with him. I didn't want to go out with anybody. I didn't want anything to do with anybody. So I didn't give him a number. I didn't do anything like that. And life went on. Well, we parted ways that day, and didn't think anything of it. Like I said, we were just, I'm good. So we got on with our life and everything. Well, a couple days later, my best friend's husband gives me a buzz, and he's like, hey, there's a guy named Trevor. He's like, I think it was the guy we were calling Buckaroo Bob. I'm like, okay. He's like, he got a hold of my dad, and he wants to see if you would like to go out with him. He wants your phone number. Would you be okay if Tim gave it to him? I'm like, no, I'm good. Thank you though. I appreciate it, but no, I'm good. And so they went on and told him that and everything. Well, he calls a couple days later, same thing, asks for my number, asks if if I would go out with him. And I said, no, I'm good. Like, I don't want to go out with anybody. I'm good. And go on. And then I want to say it was 3 times. So then gets a hold of Jeremy or Tim. I can't get it. He gets a hold of one of them. And finally they get a hold of me, and they're like, look, okay, this guy's persistent. We talked to him, like, we like him. He seems like to be a really good egg. Like, just give him a shot. Just give him a shot. And I'm like, fine. Y'all wore me down. I will give him a shot. And so they gave him they gave him my cell phone number, and he got a hold of me. And I don't know if it was like Thursday night or Friday or something like that. And he wanted to go out Friday night. And I said, sure, that's fine. You come pick me up. Like, I really made Trevor work. I was not, like I said, didn't want anything to happen, and he was so persistent. So he came out for that Friday night. We went to town, did all that stuff, and had quite a great time. Just hit it off, really hit it off, and I felt really comfortable with him right off the bat. Like, it just happened, you know? And so anyhow, and then so we went out, and then just, kind of continued the weekend and whatnot. Went on a couple other dates that weekend, so it was basically like 3 dates. We went out Friday night, we went out Saturday, went out Sunday. Like, it was one bam, bam, bam. And it just kind of worked out really well. And so we honestly just hit it off from the start. And honestly, the rest is literally just like straight history. Like, things just happened, and it was just a blessing in disguise for the both of us. But the funny part is so we get on with all that and everything, and come to find out too, like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 weeks into it, his at the time he was living with his parents in Blackfoot, trying to find a house and everything. And like I said, this was back in 2011, so economy was kind of down. Like, it was just kind of an interesting time. And so his dad we were at his dad's house. We were kind of hanging out. I was an avid runner at the time, so I did like half marathons. I trained a lot and stuff, and so I was consistently, like, it was a stress reliever for me. And so I would run every single day, whether it was a couple miles or if it was 10 miles, I'd run, period, switching all that. So I was actually getting ready. I was kind of getting ready for the day and getting in my clothes to go for a little run, and his dad's like, hey, we're just kind of BSing for a little bit. Anyways, and his dad and I have a really great relationship, and he's like, you put like a trance on my son. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, okay, when he came home from that weekend, when he met you out on the desert, It's like he could not stop talking about you. Literally, he was like in this trance. He's like, he was just gone. And he's like, yeah, he literally told me, I met the woman of my dreams. I'm going to marry her one day. And he's like, yeah, whatever. Okay. I've heard this before, whatever. And he's like, no, literally like that's all he could talk about. You were the woman of his dreams. He was going to marry me someday. And I started laughing. I'm just like, yeah, okay, that's cute. Not believing any of it, it just kind of happened. And then that's kind of how all that started. So we started dating the summer of 2011, completely unexpectedly. And y'all, it's been an absolute roller coaster since then. Oh my Lanta. Like, Buckaroo Bob has sure got a hold on me. Like, we make quite the pair. And we'll go on to part 2 here in a little next. We'll go to part 2 here soon, but here's one little piece of advice for you guys, for everybody, is when you meet somebody that makes you a better person, they push you in a positive manner and they make you better. That's your person. That's how you know it's your soulmate. That's how you know that's the person for you. The person who makes you a better person, making better decisions, doing smart. Like, we didn't make also super smart decisions, but we have always done things to make each other better and hold each other accountable in a positive manner. It hasn't always been strawberries and roses, y'all. Like, we've had a rough go. But we've been able to pull through. One, because like we have an unconditional love, not only for ourselves, but an unconditional love for Jesus. And we just can't tell you guys enough that there is somebody for everybody, but you got to find the right person. And if you have dreams and want them to come true and want them to, come to fruition, make each other better. That is the key to, like any marriage, is make each other better. So part 2 coming soon.